Hi there, warriors, and welcome back to the Uruguayan Heroes YouTube channel. Today we are previewing Uruguay's 2024 Copa America tournament. And this is going to be a tasty tournament for sure. Argentina is reigning world champions, reigning South American champions as well. Brazil on a bit of a low, but still with incredible players. Colombia, possibly the most informed team in the last 2 years in terms of the results they got against also big European opponents. And with sides like Ecuador, Mexico, also the USA, who can obviously do something, who have talent, who are dangerous sides. It's a really good tournament, a competitive tournament. Uruguay though have probably got the least competitive group stage, or have least a competitive group. Facing United States as the hosts, Panama and Bolivia. The tournament starts off with a game against Panama, then we face Bolivia. Ideally and also realistically, you win both games, you build momentum, and then you go into the last game against the USA, which will be in Kansas City in the Arrowhead Stadium. Ideally, you go into this game already being qualified, and then you got a game which is probably more competitive against a team who I believe Uruguay is superior to in terms of talent, but also in terms of the results we've gotten against big opponents in the last year. So I think this Uruguay should beat them and should finish as top of the group, because also when you do this, obviously perhaps you create the more favorable quarterfinal matchup. Although having said that, and we will move to this now, the quarterfinals matchup is not going to be easy in any case, because Uruguay are paired up with Group D with Brazil and Colombia, who I believe will go through. They're the strong favorites to go through, and both of them will give Uruguay a tough game. Obviously, Colombia, we have to realize, or we have to remember, they knocked us out in 2021 in the Copa, in the last Copa, knocked us out in 2014, obviously in the World Cup. So there's history there. I mean, there's history with Brazil. We don't even have to go there. We all know it. So these will be tough games in any case. So yeah, but for Uruguay, like I said, it's a case of building momentum in the group stage. Hopefully, having a Darwin who is in top form, and having other players who are in a good level. And then there's no reason to go into these games not believing, because Uruguay obviously can beat Brazil on their day, which I mean it happened at the end of 2023. Uruguay obviously can beat Colombia, and Uruguay do have what it takes to go through these big games, live in them, and beat the opponents, stand their ground, and then obviously create the path to the final, and hopefully go into the final, which probably will be against Argentina if we make it that far. So yeah, for me, there's no reason to be pessimistic. There's reason to believe, based on the last 12 months, and also based on the players we have. I mean, when you look at our spine, obviously, we perhaps can have a look at the team. I mean, the squad as of 26th of May, which is the date of recording of this video, is not revealed yet, but we can obviously look at the last squad. But we can also this is not a good idea actually, because this is a squad of the of the March FIFA date, which not all players were caught up, not all regulars were caught up, but we can also do with this out of our head, on top of our head, because Araujo, Jimenez, I'm talking about the spine now. Araujo, Jimenez, Valverde, Bentancur, Ugarte, Darwin. These are players obviously who Uruguay can count on, and who are playing in youth clubs in Europe, and who have shown their level, their brilliance, their quality in big games, either for their club or for Uruguay. So when you got a spine like this, and when you also get young players or even more experienced players like Darascaeta or perhaps Suarez, who is part of the squad, hopefully, who can come from the bench and make a difference, there's no reason to fear any opponent. And I mean, Uruguay, the story of Uruguay is based on never fearing anyone and being always the outsider, the underdog, but always believing in yourself, never being counted out, and always having this resilience and this belief that it can be done. And this is obviously the story, and these are the values Uruguay never have to abandon, never should abandon. And with Bielsa right now, I think we are closer to these values than we have been for quite a few years right now. I think we have to go back to 2011, or perhaps the group stages in 2014, where these values were at display. But other than that, I think Tabares, unfortunately, in the latter years of his Uruguay tenure, has steered clear of these values. Perhaps not with his words, but certainly with his actions, and also with his words a little bit. When you recall quotes like we do not have an obligation to win. So yeah, um, but yeah, leaving that aside, Uruguay can go into this tournament with the belief, and we also have to be realistic, or not realistic. We have to be aware of the historical record, because it's been only on two occasions in in the history of of football, Uruguayan football history. I'm sorry, that there has been a longer period of Uruguay not winning the Copa. It's been between 1942, like you can see here, and 1956 for 14 years, where Uruguay did not lift the Copa. Then there was 1995 until 2011, 16 years of a drought. And now it's 2011 to 24, 13 years. And when Uruguay, or if Uruguay do not win the Copa this summer, then it will obviously be until 2028 until Uruguay have another chance to do it. And thereby, if this happens, the drought of 16 years will be the record of the drought of 16 years will be broken, and will be 17 years. And yeah, I mean, perhaps this is a little bit of well, nonsense. Maybe it's not that relevant, but I thought it was interesting to point out and to highlight here. Because yeah, I mean, Uruguay as a country, winning breeds winning, right? I mean, when Uruguay were this formidable force in the early history of the game, winning many trophies in South America, but also obviously on the world stage in Paris, in Amsterdam, and also in Montevideo, the 1930 World Cup and 1950 World Cup in Brazil. When you win these games, you breed a culture or you create or cultivate a culture of winning, and thereby you create winners. And when you lose that winning mentality, which I don't think Uruguay have, but obviously if you do not win for many years, it obviously dilutes a little bit, it gets less, then it's not a good thing, it's not a good thing for sure. And certainly when you look at the past few editions, in my opinion, Uruguay had the players and also the playing field in these copas were more accessible than others. So the ingredients and the context was there for Uruguay to be victorious. Did not happen though, which is obviously unfortunate and maybe bad. When you look at some of these tournaments, Uruguay underperformed. But that's what it is. For now, in this tournament, Uruguay arrive with the belief and with the conviction that they can lift number 16, and it's going to be a really nice tournament to follow, in my opinion. I think Uruguay, certainly in the early stages, can treat their fans, myself included, to some goals, to hopefully some good football, and then build on that. Come into these big games against Colombia and Brazil, which, I mean, to be honest, the Copa, these tournaments, they're all about these games. These games, like for example against Brazil, these historic rivalries, or games like a Colombia, which is a quality side. These are the type of games you watch for, certainly in a tournament context, when they are really heated, when they're really closely contested mostly. These are the games you look forward to, and I'm looking forward to them as well. And I, with Alessandro Vina, with Farid, with Daniel Solana, perhaps these names you recognize. Alessandro has been on here many occasions, but Farid was on during the World Cup. Daniel was on the live streams during the qualifiers against Argentina and I think Bolivia. They will be on here. We will be live streaming before, and I will with myself probably during the games. So we will be live streaming. And if you want to join in, leave a message in the comments below. Leave a message on Twitter at Uruguayan Heroes, or on X as it's now called. because we would love to have you on to discuss the most beautiful team in the world. Yeah. And while you're at it, like the video if you want. You will help me out if you do that. And subscribe for more. You can put a notification bell on to be notified when I go live or when I post a video, because the content will be coming as the tournament approaches. So yeah, will be an exciting time. Hopefully you will be here with me to experience it all. And yeah, like I said, Uruguay can go all the way, and it's gonna be a glorious summer. Hopefully. Bye bye.